The sky over Earth had never looked so different. Tiny points of light, usually stars far away, grew larger, moving with a purpose. At first, people thought it was a meteor shower, a rare and beautiful spectacle. Then the ships appeared, vast, black, and shimmering with a strange metallic glow. They blocked the sun, casting long shadows over cities, forests, and oceans. Humanity had faced many disasters before, but nothing like this. In the city of New Chicago, alarms rang through the streets. Sirens wailed, lights flashed, and a low rumble shook the ground. People ran from buildings, dragging loved ones behind them. Cars crashed, glass shattered, and helicopters struggled to rise into the smoke-filled sky. From above, the alien ships moved like predators, surveying their prey, ready to strike. Lieutenant Mara Ellis gripped the controls of her fighter jet as she soared above the chaos. Her squadron was the last line of defense in the city's airspace. The alien vessels moved with terrifying precision, deploying smaller drones that rained down energy beams on anything that moved. Buildings crumbled under the alien fire, and explosions lit the streets in a harsh orange glow. Mara felt her heart hammering. Fear gnawed at her, but she pushed it aside. She had a job to do. She had to protect the people below. Eagle 1 to squadron, she spoke into the radio. Hold formation. Target the drones. Focus fire. We can't let them land. Her teammates answered with determined voices. Together they darted through beams of alien energy, dodging explosions and returning fire wherever they could. Their weapons barely scratched the hulls of the alien drones, but it was enough to slow them down. Every second counted. On the ground, civilians were struggling too. Streets that had once been filled with laughter and life were now filled with screams. Families huddled in basements. Schools became makeshift shelters, and emergency responders tried to guide people to safety. Among them was Dr. Anil Kapoor, a scientist at the Global Defense Research Facility. He had studied the stars for decades but had never imagined this. A war not with another nation, but with beings from another world. He watched the sky through the lab's reinforced windows, analyzing the patterns of the alien ships. They're not just attacking, he muttered to himself. They're testing us, mapping our response. They want to know how we think. His assistant, Lila, looked at him with wide eyes. What can we do, Dr. Kapoor? Their technology it's beyond anything we have. He shook his head slowly. We have to find a way. We have to learn, adapt, and fight back. If we don't, Earth will fall. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of the city, ordinary citizens were discovering courage they didn't know they had. A group of teenagers trapped in a burning building used their knowledge of the streets to escape through alleyways. An elderly man retired from military service guided neighbors to safety with precise directions and calm authority. Even small acts of bravery mattered when the world was collapsing around them. As the hours passed, humanity began to understand the scale of the threat. Alien ships were landing in strategic locations, cutting off power grids, transportation hubs, and communication networks. Entire regions were being isolated. Governments struggled to coordinate a response, and panic threatened to spread faster than the alien fire. Yet even in the darkest moments, humans fought back. Improvised weapons were built in factories and homes. Engineers repurposed old drones, converting them into flying bombs to strike at the alien fleet. Hackers worked feverishly to break into alien communication networks, hoping to understand how they operated. Every human on Earth, from soldiers to scientists to ordinary civilians, became part of the resistance, even if they didn't realize it yet. In orbit above Earth, the aliens' command center floated silently. Queen Valera, the ruler of the alien fleet, observed the planet below. Her form was regal, tall, and otherworldly, with sharp features and eyes that glowed like molten metal. Her mind was sharp, trained for conquest, and she had crushed worlds before. Yet something about Earth intrigued her. They resist more than expected, she said in a voice that echoed across the command room. This species, it is fragile yet persistent. They struggle yet they fight. Interesting. Her generals looked at her nervously. We can overwhelm them, Your Majesty. Their cities will fall and their defenses will crumble. Valera's eyes narrowed. Perhaps, but observe them closely. They are not as simple as they seem. Even now they are learning. Even now they are adapting. Back on Earth, Mara Ellis returned to base after her first skirmish. She was exhausted, her jet battered, and her squad reduced in number. But when she saw her fellow pilots repairing their aircraft, sharing stories of near-death escapes, She felt a spark of hope. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, and somehow they had always found a way to survive. In the ruins of New Chicago, Dr. Kapoor and his team worked through the night. They gathered alien fragments, studying the technology that had nearly destroyed their city. "We have to understand them," he said. "If we can find a weakness, even a small one, we can turn the tide." Lila nodded. "And if we can't?" He paused, looking out at the burning city. "Then we fight anyway. Humanity doesn't give up. We fight because we must. We fight because we are alive." As night fell, Earth burned, but the fire was not only from destruction. It was also from the spirit of resistance. Small groups of humans carried out daring acts of defiance, striking alien patrols, rescuing trapped civilians, and sending messages of hope to other survivors. Every action, no matter how small, sent a signal across the planet. Humanity was not defeated yet. Queen Valera, observing from her ship, felt a strange sensation she had never experienced before. Respect, mixed with annoyance. These creatures, so weak by her standards, refused to bend. They were chaotic, unpredictable, and surprisingly clever. She realized that victory might not be as simple as she had imagined. As the first part of the invasion came to an uneasy close, humanity had suffered immense losses. But something remarkable had happened. People who had never met before, from different nations, cultures, and walks of life, began to unite. Communication lines were restored using improvised methods. Militias and armies shared intelligence. Civilians volunteered to transport supplies and medical aid. Humanity, threatened by annihilation, began to organize like never before. In a small control room beneath the remains of a university, Mara, Dr. Kapoor, and other leaders of the resistance gathered. They looked at a digital map of the alien fleet, tracking movements, analyzing attack patterns, and planning countermeasures. It was a fragile network, patched together from scavenged technology and human determination. Mara clenched her fists. "They think they can destroy us. They think they are superior, but they haven't seen what humans are capable of when our backs are against the wall." Dr. Kapoor nodded. "This is just the beginning. They underestimate us, and that will be their mistake. We may be down, but we are not out. Not yet." Outside, the sky remained dark with the shadow of alien ships. Fires burned in distant cities. The sound of sirens and explosions echoed through the night. But amid the chaos, humanity's heart burned brighter than ever. Every act of bravery, every life saved, and every small victory was a reminder. Earth was not just a planet. It was home, and humans would defend it no matter the cost. And so, the first chapter of humanity's greatest struggle ended, not with defeat, but with fire. Not with surrender, but with defiance. The aliens had come expecting an easy conquest. But they had encountered something entirely unexpected. A species that refused to bow, refused to yield, and refused to die quietly. The shadow over Earth had arrived, and it was immense. But the light of humanity burned brighter, flickering but unextinguished, ready to ignite a resistance that would change the fate of the planet forever. The morning after the first wave of the alien attack, Earth was quiet, but the calm was deceptive. Cities lay in ruins. Power grids were fractured, and communication networks barely functioned. The alien fleet hovered in the skies above, scanning and searching, confident that the remaining humans would soon surrender. But humanity was already fighting back in ways the invaders had not anticipated. In New Chicago, Lieutenant Mara Ellis walked among the damaged streets, boots crunching on broken glass. Her jet had been repaired overnight, but she didn't feel like flying today. Her eyes scanned the horizon as she observed the people emerging from shelters. There was fear, yes, but also determination. Workers, engineers, and volunteers moved through the debris, rebuilding communication towers, clearing roads, and setting up defensive positions. Mara approached a group of young engineers who were working on a makeshift energy weapon, scavenged from destroyed alien drones. "How's it coming?" she asked. One of the engineers, a teenager named Rafi, wiped sweat from his brow. "Slowly, but we're getting there. We can amplify our power grids to send concentrated energy bursts. It's risky, but it might work," Mara nodded. "Good, every little advantage counts. The aliens expect us to panic, but we have to prove them wrong." Across the globe, similar stories unfolded. In Europe, underground labs and abandoned factories became research centers. Scientists worked day and night, repurposing alien materials, learning their designs, and creating countermeasures. In Asia, Military units coordinated with local communities, setting up traps, ambushes, and warning systems. And in Africa, nomadic tribes used their deep knowledge of the terrain to evade alien patrols while rescuing stranded families. At the Global Defense Research Facility, Dr. Anil Kapoor studied the alien technology with intensity. He had managed to acquire fragments of alien weapons from the previous day's skirmishes. Sitting under harsh fluorescent lights, he examined the glowing circuits and mysterious alloys. "They are adaptable," he told his assistant Lila. "Their weapons adjust to energy levels and attacks almost instantly. But they are not invincible. Every system has a flaw. We just need to find it." Lila frowned. "But the aliens are so advanced. How can we fight something like that?" Dr. Kapoor leaned forward, eyes bright with determination. "Because they don't understand humans. They see us as fragile, disorganized, and emotional. But humans are unpredictable, clever, and resourceful. That is our advantage. While they rely on control and precision, we rely on creativity and determination. That is how we fight back." Meanwhile, in the skies above Earth, alien ships patrolled methodically. Small drone units descended to attack any humans who appeared organized. But even their technology could not predict every move. Mara led a small squadron of jets on a reconnaissance mission, observing alien patterns. They noticed a strange behavior. The aliens always left certain areas untouched, almost as if they were marking zones for something else. Mara radioed her team. "We need to exploit this. They are predictable in some ways. Let's see if we can lure them into a trap." On the ground, civilians had taken matters into their own hands. Farmers, construction workers, and even students rigged improvised weapons and barricades. They shared information, coordinated movements, and helped each other survive. Fear had not broken them. It had made them resourceful. In New Chicago, a group of volunteers repaired an old subway train and converted it into a mobile strike unit. It was equipped with electromagnetic pulses, designed to disrupt the alien drone systems temporarily. The engineers tested it tirelessly, knowing that even a short disruption could save lives. News of these small victories spread across Earth. Radio signals, hacked broadcasts, and word of mouth reminded humans everywhere that they were not alone. Hope began to grow alongside the fear, creating a fragile but vital energy, the spirit of rebellion. Even as humans fought to survive, Queen Valera sensed a shift. From her massive ship above Earth, she observed human resistance growing in ways she had not expected. "They are learning," she murmured, her voice echoing through the command chamber. "Even in despair, they adapt. This species, it may be more dangerous than we first calculated." Her generals looked at her in surprise. "Majesty, they are still weak. Their weapons are primitive. Their forces are scattered. Surely you overestimate them." Valera's eyes narrowed. "No, observe them carefully. Watch their leaders, watch their gatherings, watch how they coordinate. There is something here that defies logic, something we have not accounted for." Back on Earth, Mara's squadron returned to the base after another daring mission. They had managed to disable several drones and relay their findings to the scientists below. She was tired, her uniform streaked with soot and grime, but she felt a spark of pride. "We're not giving up," she said quietly, more to herself than anyone else. "We will fight back, and they will learn that humans do not surrender." Dr. Kapoor and his team were hard at work, integrating alien technology with human ingenuity. They had discovered that the alien drones relied on a centralized energy source. By creating a series of coordinated attacks, they could temporarily disrupt the drone's circuits, rendering them useless for a short time. It was a small victory, but it gave humans an advantage that the aliens had not expected. Elsewhere, in remote locations, independent groups of humans began conducting guerrilla attacks. They sabotaged alien supply lines, set traps for drones, and rescued those trapped in occupied cities. Each success, no matter how minor, sent ripples through the alien network. The invaders began to feel frustration, a sensation they were unaccustomed to in Conquest. Mara met with Dr. Kapoor and other leaders of the resistance in a makeshift command center beneath the ruins of a university. Maps were spread across tables and small holographic displays flickered with data collected from drone surveillance. "We have to coordinate these attacks," Mara said firmly. "We can't just strike blindly. Every strike has to matter. Every action has to be part of a larger plan." Dr. Kapoor nodded. "Agreed, we are building more than weapons. We are building a strategy, And the aliens don't understand strategy the way humans do. They follow orders, patterns, and logic. We use creativity, intuition, and unpredictability. That is our strength. They began planning their next steps carefully. Teams were assigned to research alien weaknesses, coordinate strikes, and protect civilians. Supply lines were reinforced. Training sessions were held for volunteers. Even children were given tasks like relaying messages or monitoring skies for drones. Small but important contributions that built morale and resilience. Outside the command center, the city of New Chicago was slowly transforming. Once damaged roads became barricades. Abandoned factories turned into repair stations. Neighborhoods that had been deserted were now buzzing with activity. Humanity was fighting back not just with weapons, but with ingenuity, courage, and unity. As night fell, the alien ships hovered silently above Earth, unaware that their expected victory was slipping through their grasp. Humans, once thought weak and powerless, were now learning, adapting, and striking back in unexpected ways. Each act of resistance, whether it was a daring air raid, a sabotage drone, or a repaired communication line, was a reminder that humanity would not bow quietly. Queen Valera, observing these developments, felt a rare emotion: concern. Her eyes studied the humans with intensity, noting their coordination, their resilience, and their ability to turn even failure into opportunity. She realized that the conquest of Earth would not be simple. Humanity's unpredictability and determination made them far more dangerous than any species she had encountered before. Meanwhile, on Earth, Mara looked up at the night sky. The stars were still bright, though some were obscured by alien ships. Fires burned in distant cities, smoke rising like dark fingers toward the heavens. Yet Mara felt hope. Humanity had survived the first wave. They had struck back, learned from their mistakes, and begun to organize resistance. The battle was far from over, but they were no longer mere prey. Dr. Kapoor joined her, handing her a small device that had been modified from alien technology. "This will help track their energy patterns," he said. "It's crude, but it works. And it gives us a fighting chance." Mara nodded, gripping the device tightly. "We'll need more than a chance. We'll need fire, courage, and every human willing to fight. But we can do it. We have to do it." As the first embers of rebellion spread across Earth, humans realized something profound. They were not just defending their homes. They were defending their identity, their spirit, and their right to exist. The aliens had expected to find weakness, fear, and surrender. Instead, they found something stronger, a species united by determination, ingenuity, and fire. And so, from the ashes of destruction, the sparks of rebellion were born. Humanity had faced defeat, but they had chosen to rise. The world had changed forever, and the battle for Earth was only beginning. The human resistance had grown stronger over the past weeks. Cities were still scarred and fires still burned, but every corner of the planet showed signs of defiance. Mara Ellis had led countless air missions, dodging alien patrols, rescuing civilians, and delivering intelligence back to the underground command centers. Humanity was no longer waiting to be destroyed. They were striking back. One evening, as the sky glowed with the fading light of a smoldering city, a strange signal cut through the communications network. It was precise, deliberate, and unmistakably alien. All human networks picked it up simultaneously, a message directed specifically at their leaders. Dr. Anil Kapoor studied the transmission with narrowed eyes. "It's a request. The Queen is summoning us. She wants a meeting." Lila's brow furrowed. "A meeting? Why? To surrender?" Dr. Kapoor shook his head. "No, I don't think she wants surrender. She's curious. Or testing us. Either way, this is dangerous. Very dangerous. But it could also be an opportunity." Mara's mind raced. "Opportunity? To what? Trap us? End us?" "I don't trust her, Doctor, but maybe we can use this." The decision was made quickly. A team of human envoys, including Mara, Dr. Kapoor, and a small security detail, would board a specially retrofitted spacecraft and travel to the alien mothership. Every precaution was taken. Shields were strengthened, communication devices encrypted, and escape plans prepared. Humanity's brightest minds and bravest warriors would represent Earth in the most dangerous negotiation in its history. As the human ship ascended through the upper atmosphere, the alien fleet hovered silently, observing. Alien drones buzzed around like black insects, scanning the skies and monitoring every move. Mara sat in the cockpit, gripping the controls tightly. Fear lingered in her chest, but determination burned brighter. She looked out at the vast expanse of alien ships and whispered, "We've come this far. We're not backing down now." Upon reaching the mothership, the humans were ushered into a massive chamber. Queen Valira stood before them, her figure immense, her presence radiating power. Her eyes, glowing like molten metal, studied the humans intently. Every movement, every glance was calculated. "You have survived far longer than I expected," Valira said, her voice echoing across the chamber. "Your species is persistent, fragile yet persistent. I have observed you. I have watched your resistance grow. And now I summon you here." Dr. Kapoor stepped forward. "Queen Valira, we did not seek this confrontation. But we are not powerless. We will defend our planet and our people." Valira tilted her head. "I do not summon you for threats. I summon you to understand. You are intriguing. Even now, facing annihilation, you do not bend. You organize, you adapt, you resist. Such behavior is unusual, perhaps even admirable." Mara's hand tightened on her jacket. "We fight because we must. If we do not, Earth dies. Simple as that." Valira's eyes narrowed, not with anger, but with curiosity. "You have spirit. You have courage. You are unpredictable. I wish to see the limits of your species. How far will you go to survive? How clever can you be when faced with total destruction?" The humans realized the Queen was testing them, trying to gauge their intelligence, adaptability, and resolve. But they were not fools. Dr. Kapoor spoke carefully. "We will show you that humans are not merely creatures to be conquered. We are capable of resistance, ingenuity, and unity. You may learn, or you may underestimate us at your peril." Valira's lips curved into a faint alien smile. Bold words for such fragile creatures. But words mean little without action. You survive through strategy and innovation. I see that you have learned from your mistakes. I wish to see what you are truly capable of. While the meeting unfolded, human engineers and scientists back on Earth worked tirelessly. Dr. Kapoor had sent encrypted data and small instructions through secure channels. Teams analyzed alien patterns, energy flows, and communication protocols. Using these insights, they began assembling a network of devices capable of coordinating a planet-wide counterattack. It was risky, but the humans had little choice. They had to prepare for every possibility. In the skies above, Mara's squadron watched the alien patrols. They noticed subtle changes. Drones moved in different patterns and energy shields flickered more than usual. Something was different. Valira's presence seemed to alter her forces. It was as if she was both observing and adjusting, probing for weaknesses but also distracted by curiosity. Back inside the mothership, Mara and her team were escorted to a high observation deck. From there they could see entire cities, entire continents being surveyed by alien sensors. "This is overwhelming," one of the security officers whispered. "How do they see everything?" Valira's gaze fell on the humans. "You believe you are small, limited, and weak. Yet you endure, you improvise, you persist. Tell me, human, why do you not surrender when all seems lost?" Mara squared her shoulders. "Because surrender is not in our nature. Because giving up is not an option when your home, your family, and your future are at stake. We adapt, we resist, and we fight back. That is who we are." Valira studied her carefully. "Such defiance. Admirable yet foolish. I could destroy you with a single command. Your fleets, your cities, your people, all would fall in hours." Dr. Kapoor spoke again. "Perhaps. But even the most precise weapon can be misused, misdirected, or countered. You underestimate human creativity. You underestimate our ability to turn weaknesses into strength." The Queen's eyes narrowed. "I have watched this species across days of conflict. They are clever, yes, and unexpectedly daring. But can they sustain it? Can they turn resistance into victory? That is the question." Outside the observation deck, Mara's mind raced. She understood the danger they were in. One wrong move and the humans she represented could be destroyed. But she also sensed an opportunity. If they could survive this encounter, if they could learn what Valira valued and feared, they could turn the information into a decisive advantage. Back on Earth, the first experiments with coordinated attacks began. Engineers synchronized satellite systems with energy grids, factories, and mobile units. They tested small energy pulses against captured alien drones. Each success built confidence and hope. Every failure taught a lesson. Humanity was learning, adapting, and preparing for the moment when they could strike decisively. On the mothership, Valira continued her assessment. You are not what I expected. You do not cower, you do not beg, and you do not surrender. Perhaps there is more in your species than I anticipated. Perhaps, even potential. Dr. Kapoor recognized the subtle opening. Potential for what, Queen Valira? For understanding, she replied. For challenge. For survival. The humans left the mothership with careful planning, intelligence, and a sense of cautious optimism. They had survived the encounter without provocation or destruction, and they had gained insight into Valira's thinking. She respected ingenuity and defiance, qualities humanity had in abundance. But she also remained a threat, a powerful adversary capable of immense destruction. As the ship descended toward Earth, Mara looked down at the planet she had sworn to protect. Fires still burned in distant cities, smoke curling into the atmosphere, but she saw something else too, light. The flickering glow of human resistance. Communities working together, engineers building weapons, soldiers training, civilians preparing. Humanity was not passive. Humanity was fighting back. Dr. Kapoor's voice broke her thoughts. We learned what we needed. Now we prepare. We take what we know and we turn it into action. This meeting was not surrender. It was information. Knowledge that we can use, Mara nodded. And we'll make them pay attention. They thought we were fragile, disorganized, and easy to conquer. They will learn that humans are dangerous when pushed to the edge. The Queen, observing from orbit, felt something unfamiliar. Respect mingled with caution. Humanity was unpredictable, persistent, and adaptive. Her forces had underestimated them, and the humans' ingenuity was becoming increasingly evident. Valira realized that victory would require more than raw power. It would require strategy, patience, and understanding of this unique species. Meanwhile, Earth prepared. Cities were repaired as best as possible, supply lines secured, and teams trained for coordinated strikes. The seeds of a global counterattack were planted, nurtured by knowledge gained from the encounter with Valira herself. And so, as night fell over Earth, humans stood ready. They had faced the most dangerous adversary imaginable, had survived a direct encounter, and had learned more than they could have imagined. They were no longer merely reacting, they were preparing, planning, and strategizing. The Queen had called them, expecting obedience or fear. Instead, she had received courage, defiance, and insight into a species that refused to be crushed. And as humanity prepared for the battles to come, one thing was certain. The war for Earth was far from over. But the humans were ready to show the galaxy that they were a force to be reckoned with. The shadow of the alien fleet still hung over the planet, but now the spark of rebellion burned brighter than ever. Humanity had learned, adapted, and survived the Queen's test. And soon the fire they carried would erupt in a response no alien could ignore. The dawn broke with a fragile glow over a scarred Earth. Cities had been rebuilt in part, barricades reinforced, and humans were ready to strike. For weeks, Dr. Kapoor and his teams had coordinated a network across continents, satellites, factories, mobile units, and improvised weapons, all connected to a single system capable of delivering concentrated energy strikes. Every success from past encounters had taught them something. Every failure had refined their strategy. Humanity was no longer passive. They were ready to respond with fire. In the skies above New Chicago, Mara Ellis led her squadron into formation. Their jets, repaired, reinforced, and armed with experimental energy disruptors, hummed with power. Remember, Mara said over the comms, precision is key. Strike fast, strike smart, and protect civilians wherever you can. We are humanity's spear. Below them, engineers activated urban energy cores. Channels of electricity funneled into makeshift weapons, capable of firing concentrated beams. Factories produced missiles equipped with alien-adapted propulsion, capable of homing in on energy signatures. Every city, every region contributed to the network. Humanity's response would be coordinated on a scale the aliens had never anticipated. The alien fleet, confident from weeks of dominance, approached Earth's atmosphere for another attack. Drones swept over cities, scanning for resistance, while larger ships hovered menacingly. But the humans had anticipated every movement. Mara's squadron darted through the skies, evading beams and guiding civilians away from danger. The first strike was small but devastating. Energy disruptors fired from cities across Europe, Africa, and North America, causing drones to malfunction mid-flight. Beams of electricity from repurposed power grids overloaded alien circuits, sending some ships plummeting into the ocean. The aliens had not expected such coordination. Their systems were designed for precision, but they had never accounted for creativity, adaptability, and human unpredictability. On the mothership, Queen Valira observed the chaos with growing disbelief. "What is this?" she asked, her voice tinged with irritation. "They have coordinated across continents. Against us? Impossible. No species has adapted so quickly." Her generals reported failures of drones, ships losing energy, and patrols falling into traps. Valira's normally controlled demeanor showed the first signs of concern. The humans were clever, unpredictable, and most importantly, relentless. They had turned desperation into advantage. On the ground, civilians participated as well. Volunteer brigades transported supplies, repaired damaged equipment, and guided the evacuation of endangered zones. Farmers and construction workers operated improvised weapons, releasing energy pulses that disrupted drones. Students monitored communication lines, alerting military units to alien movements. Every person played a role, every action contributing to the larger battle. Mara's squadron moved in tandem with these efforts. They targeted alien ships that threatened urban centers, drawing fire away from civilians while strategically disabling drones with energy disruptors. Pilots coordinated with ground units, marking targets and timing attacks to maximize disruption. It was a dance of survival, precision, and ingenuity. As the battle escalated, human ingenuity shone brightest in unexpected ways. In Tokyo, engineers rigged a series of satellites to fire concentrated energy bursts at alien shields, briefly opening gaps for Mara's squadron to strike. In Lagos, civilians guided drones carrying explosive charges into alien formations, sabotaging energy cores mid-flight. In New Chicago, factories produced missile barrages that overwhelmed smaller ships, allowing ground units to reclaim territory. Queen Valira's frustration grew with every failed strike against the humans. Her forces had relied on their technological superiority, expecting rapid and total conquest. Yet humans proved to be more adaptable than she had calculated. Their creativity and coordination had become weapons as lethal as any laser or missile. For the first time, Valira hesitated. Her usual confidence was replaced with uncertainty. The humans' unpredictability, their persistence, and their clever use of technology created a force she had underestimated. She realized that brute strength alone would not secure victory. Strategy, adaptation, and understanding this species were essential. Meanwhile, Mara and her team pressed forward. They targeted the alien command ships directly, coordinating strikes with energy beams from multiple cities. Missiles homed in on energy nodes, creating cascading failures across the alien fleet. Drones crashed into one another. Ships lost coordination and panic rippled through alien formations. Humanity's response was not just resistance. It was a counterattack that combined intelligence, courage, and fire. On the ground, Dr. Kapoor monitored the network, coordinating strikes with precision. "Now, Mara, hit the energy node near the northern sector," he shouted, watching the alien ship falter under coordinated attacks. Mara maneuvered her jet, releasing a concentrated energy disruptor that found its mark. The alien ship shuddered, circuits sparking, drones faltering. It was a small victory, but each success added to the momentum. Humanity's determination, combined with innovation, created an unstoppable wave of resistance. By nightfall, Earth had changed. Alien drones were retreating, ships damaged, and the invaders were struggling to maintain control. Fires of battle glowed across cities, but amid the destruction, humanity's spirit burned brighter. For the first time, the aliens recognized that their conquest was not assured. Queen Valira, observing from her command chamber, clenched her fists. "They are not just surviving. They are fighting back with everything they have. Perhaps I underestimated them." Her voice was low, almost thoughtful. "This species, it may be stronger than anticipated." And so, humanity unleashed fire not merely as destruction, but as defiance, ingenuity, and survival. The aliens had expected weakness. They found determination, strategy, and a unity that no machine could predict. Earth was scarred, but its defenders were victorious for now. The dawn after the battle revealed a battered but unbroken Earth. Cities still smoldered. Roads were cracked. and buildings leaned against the sky, yet everywhere, signs of recovery and resilience appeared. Humanity had survived the alien onslaught and, for the first time, inflicted meaningful damage in return. Mara Ellis flew over New Chicago, surveying the aftermath. Fires had been extinguished, civilians were gathering supplies, and teams worked tirelessly to rebuild vital infrastructure. The resistance had succeeded not by brute force but by strategy, ingenuity, and unity. Every sector contributed. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, and civilians had played a part. Dr. Kapoor walked beside her, holding a portable device that monitored remaining alien movements. "We've proven that humans are not defenseless," he said. "We've survived. We've struck back, and now we rebuild stronger, smarter, and ready for whatever comes next." In distant regions, similar scenes unfolded. Communities united, forming networks of communication and defense. Factories, once abandoned or destroyed, now produced weapons and supplies. Knowledge from the mothership encounter allowed humans to anticipate alien tactics, giving them a critical edge. Humanity was no longer reactive, they were proactive, prepared, and formidable. Even Queen Valera retreated. Her fleet, damaged and shaken by coordinated human strikes, withdrew into orbit. Leaving Earth free for the moment, she observed from a distance, analyzing her failures, her respect for the humans growing. "The species," she whispered, "it is not what I expected. They survive, adapt, and fight with fire. They are formidable." On Earth, Mara met with Dr. Kapoor and other leaders of the resistance in the command center. Maps displayed the positions of remaining alien ships, the areas reclaimed by humans, and the locations of ongoing recovery efforts. Mara's face was tired but determined. "We've won the battle," she said, "but the war isn't over. The aliens will return. They always do. We have to be ready, stronger than before, united and creative. They thought they could crush us. They thought they could take our planet. But we've shown them that humans are not so easily defeated." Dr. Kapoor nodded. "This victory is more than survival. It is proof that humanity's ingenuity, courage, and determination are weapons stronger than any alien technology. We fought with fire. Not just literal fire, but the fire of spirit, intelligence, and unity. That is something no invader can destroy." Across the planet, humans celebrated small victories. Families reunited, communities rebuilt, and soldiers were honored. Each act of survival and bravery became part of the story of humanity's defiance. The aliens had underestimated them, but the humans had proved that even in the face of overwhelming power, they could fight back and win. Mara returned to the skies, patrolling over New Chicago as the sun rose. The world was scarred, yet alive. The fires of battle had tested humanity, but the species had emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Queen Valera, retreating into the void of space, understood one undeniable truth. Earth was not a simple conquest. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and unyielding. She would return, yes, but she would never again underestimate the species she had sought to destroy. On Earth, humanity prepared for the future. Lessons were learned, systems rebuilt, and defenses reinforced. The planet had faced annihilation and survived. More than that, humans had struck back with creativity, courage, and fire. They had transformed fear into act,